Hello friends, I'm Lokesh, your mentor at mentorbuddy.com. We have a question based on percentages. The question is, in an election between two candidates, one got 55% of total valid votes. 20% of the votes were invalid. If the total number of votes was 7,500, the number of votes that the other candidate got was. And then we have four options with us. So let us see how can we solve such a question. Since it is given that the total number of votes was 7,500, but it is also given that 20% of them were invalid. So if I take 20% of the invalid votes, we are left with 80% of the valid votes. Also, it is given in the first line, one of the candidate received 55% of the total valid votes. That is, if there are 80% of the valid votes, one candidate got 55% of it. Definitely, the other candidate would have received the remaining 45% of the valid votes. And the question is asking us to find out the number of votes received by the other candidate, which is 45% of 80% of 7,500. So if we try to figure out the number of valid votes for the other candidate, so I can write it as number of valid votes is equal to 45% of 80%, because there were only 80% of the valid votes of the total votes polled. So when we do the cancellation, this is 4, this is 5 multiplied by 15, and we get 60 multiplied by 45, which is going to be 2700 of the votes. So 2700 votes were received by the other candidate, and this is what our answer is, because the question was asking us about the number of votes valid that the other candidate received, and therefore the answer to this question becomes option number 1. So this is how we can solve questions based on percentages, but we have to be very careful about the percentage value that we are trying to evaluate, because in this case 45% of 7500 would have given us the wrong answer. So it is 45% of 80% of 7500. So that gives us the correct answer to this question. I hope everyone has understood this. Thank you.